On a hot, musty September, well, actually it's October night, we now know that Nancy Pelosi did not have a caucus. She had 8 people that wanted to vote for her awful bill. 8. 8. How many viewers does this channel do? As soon as the video goes live, this channel has about 5,000 views within about 25 seconds. So let's just say Purple Power won. I mean, just, it's there's more than 8 Purple Power members, say. And she had only 8 in her caucus show up. Tonight, Purple Power reached one of its biggest achievements ever. It showed up, and it pushed up, and it had some people shut up. It caused members of the Democratic Party not to show up to support a bad bill. A bad bill that was introduced on Monday that was ultimately the same thing that Nancy Pelosi has had since the month of July. It was unrevised. It was the exact thing that she's had since July. And we said, we're done with this. Enough is enough. You're not doing a bipartisan bill. There's a thing called passing laws. It's called being bipartisan. It's not our way or the highway. Tonight, Nancy Pelosi is planning her trip back to California. The airlines are shutting down routes because they missed their deadline. They did not get their relief. Perhaps she won't get back to California. Close the borders. Put a wall around California, Mr. President. But she is heading back, and she's hoping to get reelected. Needless to say, the rest of the congressional leaders got the message, and got the message from Purple Power. We are not voting for that darn bill. We do not want to have our names on that darn bill when it comes up in the fall election. Ultimately, they didn't give us stimulus, but they did give us satisfaction by saying, no, you have to do bipartisan relief. As Elise Slotkin said shortly after the vote, a congresswoman, it was fine as a negotiating tactic what Nancy Pelosi did tonight, but it doesn't put food on people's table until we have something that's bipartisan. Tonight, Purple Power won for one simple word: being bipartisan. And this is Purple Power. Hey, good evening, everybody. This is Evening's LALATE, and this is a special edition, of course, of Purple Power, and a night in which we thought this was going to happen, but we didn't think it was going to be this big of a success. We started the week with a success when Steve Mnuchin came out in favor of exactly what we had urged for. Last week, Purple Power started a political position, which was that we would not support the bill that would be introduced by Nancy Pelosi, because rumors at the time said that the bill would be at $2.4 trillion, and it would be basically the same bill that she had since the month of July. When the bill was debuted by Monday, we learned that it was 2.2, and it was exactly the bill that she had from July. On Monday, we had our biggest achievement when Steve Mnuchin said that he would do exactly, which is what we wanted the White House to do, which is support the Problem Solvers bill. Why? Because it's bipartisan. It would get passed by both houses of Congress within 24 hours and then signed by the president. Everyone had their stimulus checks within 10 days. Everyone would have their stimulus checks within 10 days if the bipartisan Problem Solvers bill had been approved by the Temple of Doom on Monday. She said categorically, no. Well, at that point, we understood her position to be much the same as the month of July and the month of August and the month of September. So we did another push, which we had been doing for over 2 weeks, which was Seats for Stimulus, and saying, hey, congressional leaders do not show up and do not vote in full favor of this horrible stimulus package because it's really a horrible bill. And tonight, we got our biggest victory ever. They didn't show up. Her caucus, which she has bragged about every speaking breath that she has had over the last 3 to 5 weeks, did not show up. She had a total of 8 people vote in favor of her. Just like I can't even say it with a straight face. 8. The rest refused to show up. She had one dissenting vote among Democrats. I'd love to see who that is. And then she had 14 Republicans who said no as well. You would think that someone got the message tonight that you did not have support from your caucus, that you did not have support from your committee chairs, that you did not have support from your people, that you were just doing things the way you wanted to do, and that people ultimately didn't understand what you were doing. Well, tonight, problem solvers, purple powers, and other S's are really at a good position. And what I want you to do is I want you to focus on the positivity. Now no longer think about her. She goes back to being called the Temple of Doom, and focus on getting us money. We are not surprised by tonight's events because we were emotionally prepared for this last week. I told you this was going to happen. I told you she was going to ignore everyone, blow us off, and just introduce a bad bill, and it's going to die in the House. If you don't know, it's dead in the House. It's not getting passed by the Senate. It's never going to become a law. It's never going to see time of day. And she'll say words like, it passed. It didn't pass. 8 people liked it, and the rest of Americans didn't. And that's what I need you to understand. That everyone that's part of the community with you agreed with you, that you need stimulus, but this was not it. Where the focus remains now is on executive orders. The president gave us incredible hope tonight that he's refocused on executive orders when his press secretary said, you know what, I'm starting to step in and we're going to start taking care of situations now because other things are not taking care of it. First item of business, not our stimulus checks, but what you expected would be the first item of business, the airlines. The president is setting his sights very clear that he's going to step in and give relief to the airlines right away, even though today is, of course, October 1st. The airlines laid off tens of thousands of employees today because Nancy Pelosi didn't get her act together. And those employees today lost health and medical, salary, and more. But the airline said that if the stimulus packages come from the president by executive order, they'll rehire the people. Really great news if you're watching, you're an airline attendant. But the question is, when will he get to us? Hence the push, the focus. We are going to clear our brains of all the negativity, all the Temple of Doom, all the bats, all the dragons, except Lainey, all the unattractive sea urchins, and focus on the beautiful, peacock, Pete, that's a viewer of this channel, and everything else that has been beautiful among the viewers of this channel to get this to the finish line. And that's focusing on the pressure on the president and his team. We're going to focus our attention on the president for getting executive orders for stimulus checks, FPUC, rent, and everything else, including hazard pay. And the president has said he would give it to us. The president has identified he'll give it to us. And the president, unfortunately, has allowed a lot of distractions in the last 7 days. First, the Supreme Court nominee, that's done. I had told you the Supreme Court nominee was going to be a quick distraction and that it wasn't going to be a prolonged distraction that would impact your stimulus checks, because what would happen was the president would announce it and that you really are not going to see a lot of legislative actions, but that doesn't even concern the president. Whatever Mitch does with the nominee over the next couple of weeks, that doesn't really concern the president, if anything at all. Many think that Mitch is going to do much of nothing. Where the president also had a distraction was that debate this week. So going forward, the president has less distractions and needs to be focused on us. Executive orders, stimulus checks, $1,200 individuals, $2,400 married couples, dependents, adult dependents, minor dependents, family of 5. He said he wants to give it to you, so let's do it. Let's do it. He has identified the funds, $350, $390 million. Let's do it. How does he do it? Well, he just has the funds repurposed and sent out. He does not need approval of Congress. He does not need authority of anybody. He can do it himself. He has the funds. They can send it out. All the questions that I always get, how can they logistically know our address? Do they work with IRS to figure out our address? Yes. These things are very, very simple. They're not complicated. I just don't go into them because it's sort of boring. How does the IRS contact? So absolutely, categorically, he can do it. And will he do it? And when will he do it? Hence the pressure. Hence the pressure of the purple power. There's a spirit of this channel, and the spirit is to get money that people are deserving and money that they're entitled to. And that is one set of money that I'm going to focus on with you. The other set of money I'm going to focus on is money that's out there. That is money that you can get. And today I've done a lot of videos, and I just want to briefly recap other money that's out there that you can get now. We're not waiting for someone to do stuff. The first one is the money that's being held in your cities and your counties and your states for you. Grant programs are being announced live daily in cities and counties and states across the country because of CARES Act 1 money that's amounting to $150 million that was unaccounted for, not used, and now is in a use or lose situation. They have to use the money and give the money to you, otherwise they lose it. And the way they're doing is initiating grants for rent, for stimulus, for food, and similar things like that. And so what you need to do is go on Google News, not Google Web, but Google News, and look for news articles by typing the word, your name of your city, and plus grant, county plus grant. And you can add the word CARES Act, which is with a C, to look whether and they're announcing them by the day. They're literally announcing them by the day. And every single day I get about 2 messages per day from viewers who says, thank you, I found a grant here for this. Thank you, I never would have thought to look for it. They're out there. They're absolutely out there. And if you don't see one today, you don't give up hope because they announce it the day after. They're literally just being announced all over the place. That's the first one. The next one is your employer. If you are employed, there's a lot of movements to get things that you're entitled to, but the employer has not been paying you. These are the protests for hazard pay. Stop and Shop, it was the example this week. They stopped the hazard pay hazard pay for their employees. There was a push to get it to start. They said, no, stop. We're not doing that. They said, no, you got to start. No, we're going to stop. And finally, they started it. So now Stop and Shop has started the thing that they have stopped. And it's starting really well until it stops again. And so there's that. Finally, there's other monies that are out there, and I'll continue to identify them for you so that you can get them. There are things like EIDL loan. EIDL loan is a lot of money that you can get right now. You can have the funds within 48 hours in your bank account if you qualify. There's also escalated benefits for unemployment benefits. If you did not watch the video, the third video on Afternoons at LALATE, I went over how if you're on UI or PUA, you may qualify for an additional $200, $300 per week. Yes, per week, additional $200, $300 per week. Since this pandemic started, that could be 10 weeks, it could be $2,000, it could be $3,000. Go watch that enhanced unemployment, watch that video. It's the video that has the $600 in the image of the video, the $600 or the $300. It's the one after the Afternoons image and the one before Pelosi versus Mnuchin. I go through how you do the application, how you contact your employment office, because ultimately that can result in $2,000 to $3,000, $4,000 for you. Next, if you've not gone on unemployment benefits, or you were on them and stopped them and started them, stopped them, please understand that it does not matter that you've been reemployed. You can get unemployment benefits from when you were unemployed. And so I've been going over that in videos as well, and that could be thousands of dollars for you as well. Finally, EIDL loan. EIDL loan, go to sba.gov, sba.gov. If you have any Schedule C in your business, in your life, in your 2019 tax returns. If you have a Schedule C for anything, go apply. Because if you're an Uber or Lyft driver, if you're a Grubhub driver, if you are an Airbnb operator, if you're a truck driver, if you do anything Schedule C, I don't care if it's $6,000 2019. I don't care if it's $5,000 2019. And if you say to me something like, I didn't do my 2019 tax return, but I did make $6,000, $7,000, go file your tax return after this video, and then go do the then go do the application for it right after that. What are we doing here? That's money for you. It's a very, very, very simple calculation. So simple, I'm going to tell you right now. You take your gross revenue 2019 minus your cost of goods sold, which is the line under that on the tax return. Take that number and divide by 2, and that's what you get. So line 1 minus line 2 of your tax return divided by 2 is what you get. So if you were an Uber Lyft driver and made $8,000 last year, it cost you $0 to operate the Uber Lyft operation. It's 8 minus 0 divided by 2, $4,000. You'll have $4,000 in your bank account within about 3 days. Don't you want that? Of course you want that. Principal and interest, none due the first 12 months. We'll be out of this pandemic in 12 months, don't you think? So you don't have to do anything, and this money will come to you because you deserve it. Ultimately, the spirit of this channel is unchanged tonight. The spirit of the Purple Power is unchanged. We knew what she was going to do. We are focused on our agenda, not her agenda. That's the spirit of the Purple Power. Being informed, being focused, and being not pushy, but being persistent as to what we need to do to get to the finish line. And the finish line is getting through this pandemic. The finish line is getting money that you're entitled to. And I don't care where the money comes from. As long as you apply for it and you're eligible, then go get it. And so I will continue to push you through to the finish line on all different subject matters. We've done incredible progress, and tonight you should be really, really proud of where you got. It was all because of this channel. It was all because of the Purple Power. You know, when I started wearing a purple shirt on this channel, I didn't wear it for the purpose of calling Purple Power. I just wore purple because I've always owned a lot of purple. And I wore purple, and people called me purple, and then people were calling me more purple. Comments kept on coming. Purple, 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 purple guy, purple guy. Finally, I said, okay, fine. I'm going to call it Purple Power because you keep on calling me Purple. And hence it became Purple Power. The spirit of this channel was unchanged. We just suddenly had a name for it. And the name is not a digression or diversion based upon what one crazy woman's doing out to left field with her 8 friends or 8 caucus members. So go to the Friends channel, subscribe, and also like this video. I really appreciate you for staying strong, staying motivated, staying focused, and staying smiling in a time that's very peculiar tonight. But tomorrow morning's LALATE will have big, exciting details as well. As always, have a great evening and stay LA for more.